is a smelly marker and paper, and they are being sanitized in between. So, I'll give you a second to do that, and then we will get started. And y'all, I will interrupt, and I know I'm being videoed, sorry. My husband is making a Starbucks run. If you have the app, he'll pick it up for you. I just placed my order. Oh, he said order in 5. Well, I have to order now, sorry.
Now or never.
That's right. It'll just be ready. Okay, so no other takers?
I'm good.
I'm good, thanks, Ginger, thank you.
Alright. Okay, so,
Decide that fast.
are y'all ready on that? And I'll explain that as we go along. The reason we're here and our goal basically is, this is, our certification year for Lighthouse. And so they are going to be looking everywhere for the language. And there is, we'll get to it, but there is common language that we want to use, but we also want to make sure we're using it in all of the right places and as many places as we can, because they will look for all of that when they come through for our certification. So we are going to start with, I did find a video that I think we can make a connection with on Pando and the common language, or the reason why Leader of Me wants us to have that common language.
A single seed grows into a tree, a leaf. These are separate, yet connected. Pando is a famous expanding root system that connects aspen trees to each other. Unlike pines, maples, or willow trees that have separate root systems, aspen trees share their strength with each other. Each tree is beautiful, unique, and created in its own design. But each tree, different as it is part of one glorious whole. And when life hits the forest hard, the trees draw upon each other to strengthen and persevere. We too are all unique, all beautiful in our own ways. We have different strengths, different talents, and different roles to play. But at the same time, we are all connected. There are times when life hits us hard, but there are those around us who are willing to pick us up, encourage us, and help us move forward. In Latin, Pando means I spread. It speaks of expanding and growing. And that's what we at Panosphere are aiming to do. We aim to spread what it takes to be connected, to thrive, to flourish. We know that by strengthening the one, all will be strengthened. In what way are you ready to expand? You are in control of your circumstances. Let the message of life and light shine first through you. Let it spread to those who are close and expand until the whole is strengthened and all are lifted up. At Panosphere, we spread, we expand, we grow.
Okay, so to start with on that, does anybody want to explain the connection they see between Pando and common language? Any connections? Actually, put your mask on. And talk about connections you see between the Pando, the expanding, root system that connects everybody, and common language, just like 30 seconds.
I'll do it
Oh, yeah, you're all back there all by yourself.
I know. Well, it's nice because then I don't have to worry about breathing on anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I'll just turn down the sheet right now.
And even just one word. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does anybody have just even one word? Do you guys have one word?
We like ice spread
Okay, yes,
too, but
because, and that's what we need the common language to do, is to spread everywhere through the school and through, past the school to our families. Did you guys have any word?
That was just kind of what we said, was it just seems to be one, like,
Yes.
be one.
And one of the words that they had was connection. I also just kind of found it appropriate, it says trees were falling over in the forest. How many of you feel like your forest is crashing down?
Oh, yeah.
Or
burning.
I think it's on
Or
fire.
burning, you know, a forest fire, something like that.
The animals are scattering.
How many of you, though, have felt that you have had support
Oh, yeah.
and that root system? And so, you know, Leader in Me does, but also just the culture of Jack. We have that support system that spreads through. Okay, these are the common benefits, or what Stephen Covey says, the benefits of the common language. And you can start anywhere now if you want to. You can add into the Padlet any keywords that you think would help you or help anybody else, just language. You know, I mean, you can put something in as simple as synergy, but add, and that's your job in that Padlet. If you don't want to do the Padlet, like I said, you've got the markers and the papers. And I'm going to go through quick so that we can be done. And I will tell you, I can share this with you, but I've got even a better place for you that we're going to visit next. When I went to do this training, I found out they have an actual entire training on this on the Stephen Covey website, okay, on the Leader in Me website. If you have not logged in, that is also another thing that they will be looking at for Lighthouse. If any of you, Jen, you might remember we used to have the 7 minutes and 7 habits at every staff meeting, and we had to go into the Leader in Me website. Okay, and everything is there, and I'm just going to show you this super quick. If you feel like you need more on common language, there's, like I said, an entire training here, and it explains the why. It gives you videos, and these are the common areas. This, I think, is really important down here because it kind of gives you, and Tiffany Brower in her training has a list of where you need to have different things Leader in Me posted. We're going to also touch base on that. And like I said, I'm just scrolling through this so you can see. So if you feel like you need something extra, you can come in. There's actually a downloadable right here that you can download, and it gives you all of that language. And Jennifer, what would you say? And I'm calling on you because you've been here,
Yeah.
you know, the longest. What would you say the key is to getting to using common language?
Well, I think that it has to be intentional, so I know that even putting it in our lesson plans, like, for instance, back when we first started this, I used it like in math, if we were gonna work a problem, and we don't just begin with the end in mind when we're just talking about Leader in Me. It became part of the math lesson. Well, we're gonna begin this math lesson with the end in mind. What do I need to do to get to the answer? So they became embedding it in every read aloud we read. I didn't really have to stop and think. It was natural to say, what habit is this, you know, is this character showing? Or, so I think it was making it where it wasn't something else, but it was embedded into everything that you did and that you said and that you taught. And so I think at first, though, to train ourselves, we did have to embed those times. I would take a picture book home and mark the pages where I was
Yes.
gonna pull out, you know, the vocabulary, the language of Leader in Me, whether it was, you know, anything. So I would take those home and mark them, and then after about a year into that, then I would think, okay, I think I have this now because it was embedded in my mind.
But it is, and Lisa, you know, in the last session, Lisa said it's practice. And it's practice, but it is intentional, and before you know it, it just becomes part of everything you say and everything you do. And so, since some of you are newer to this, just, be intentional and practice. One of the dangers they say is though don't overuse it, which then takes us into, well, the different levels of that, the different levels of using the language, which we'll talk about. Here are some places if you just want to jot it down, but like I said, Tiffany in her shared file that she has a checklist, okay? But you're gonna want it everywhere. I mean, you're gonna want it in physical areas. We work on it already through the school. But even think about how can you use it on the playground, in your lunchroom, which is your classroom this year. Yeah, and so kind of keep those ideas. This is gonna look different because maybe in the past you've included it in your newsletters, but you need to include it in Canvas. And so we'll have to keep that in mind. But anyway, this whole thing goes through, these trainings are not too bad. They're very comprehensive, so anytime you feel like you need anything, it's all right here. Because like I said, I mean, this whole training that I could be doing is right here. And these even have fun little games, And so some of these trainings you might be able to use in your classroom too, as you're working on trying to get your students. So, huh?
I don't know where I'm supposed to be.
You're supposed to be in here.
Am I?
Come on in.
But
Here. I done wasted my
All right, so here's what we're gonna do, and we have 10 minutes.
Sign in.
So
That's what Beth was saying, that's just Beth.
that's best. Just all you have to do is find a seat, and you'll be good.
What session is it?
Common language.
Use it is.
So what we've got is we've got 8 habits, and we've got like 9 minutes. Okay.